used to take the bus a lot for many years. There was no bus stops at all. So they're a little improving now, but not good enough.
I'm always riding the bus to work, to school, to home, everywhere.
And I think they're okay. Usually you're just there for 5 or 10 minutes, so it's any little bit of the shade. But if there's a grant to rebuild them, I'm sure it'll be welcome for a lot of people that ride the bus.
If you notice, even the roadways, a lot of times as far as the population is growing, and you need space per capita, per person. Okay, and now, but they're not giving that any thought now, because this city right here is growing into an actual big city, because it's actually almost connected to Phoenix. Not exactly yet, but it's becoming connected.
Well, the best place to catch a bus or the wait for the bus or whatever would be the transit centers.
The transit centers. Because
you're more protected, the shade, the sun, the rain, whatever.
Right.
But it's when you have to go out on the main streets, like say 6th Avenue or wherever. Some of them don't even have a shelter. Some might just have a bench only, and some might just have places where you have to wait and stand.
Exactly.
And most of them are like kind of like away from each other. So if you're looking for the bus, you see one coming from the other side, you go, you got to run and look for it, and sometimes it's not there.
Right.
I don't know why that is, but it's the way it is.
It's the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, if you're at one of the major centers, it's all right.
Yeah.
But if you're out on at one of the stops, just one of the local stops out in the rural areas, it's not good at all.
Well, yeah, you got to have a schedule at all times, or if not, you're going to be screwed. Excuse my language.
Yeah.
Other than that, they should have like a schedule more on the bus stops. But then again, they don't have no supporting, no board, and no seats, nothing. But they need to put the schedule at the bus stop so they can see what time it comes.
Well, I haven't had any problems. I got my routes down packed.
Okay.
You know, and then I have a bus route thing too. So.
Okay.
So I know the buses I already have to take, so I don't have to worry about that.
As far as what bus you actually catch, because if you're from out of town, you don't even know what bus goes which way, where it goes, or how it goes.
Yeah.
So that's really not a great thing. In most major cities, they have it where the bus route, they tell you which bus you're getting on and basically where it's going.
Yeah.
But that's when they come. They need to have more buses come every 15 minutes. That way everybody gets in time. You can't get a job. It's just bad.
They suck because like all they show you is like what routes there is. They don't tell you the times or anything. It'd be really helpful if they put the times up of the route that the bus stop is on. That would really help.
Awesome.
And maybe a clock too, so we know.
Yeah.
Not really, but unless I have to go out in it, I won't go if I have to catch a bus.
It's according to where you're at.
Yep. Monsoon season, right?
Yeah, I try not to. If it's raining, I most likely won't go anywhere because I always take the bus, and the bus stops, they don't protect me. They have like little holes in the walls, so it just goes right through and I still get soaked.
Yeah, we can. Let's try and get one more interview.
Well, they're comfortable, pretty much. I have no complaints.
Okay.
No comment on it.
Awesome.
They're metal and they're uncomfortable, but you know what are you gonna do? They're free.
Yep. That's true.
More than enough seating. There's adequate seating. You can't really mess with that, because at certain peak hours, you couldn't provide the seating that was needed anyway, and that's most major cities. But most of the time, the seating is great.
I hate the concrete ones because I don't know if anyone's noticed this, but you live in Tucson, one of the hottest places in the world. Concrete burns when you sit down. I wear shorts. I burn my ass all the time. I hate it. And then the plastic ones that kind of look like wood, they're purple, those are alright, but they still get really hot. Like, I don't know if you can find a way to like make them not hot in the summer, which is probably impossible, but it'd be nice.
and if it's hot, it's going to be treacherous out in the sun. So, and a little protection, and even then you can't really be blocked from the sun 100% or the rain, but it'd be nice at least you can have something to sit down on.
Put some like shades on it, like some big shades.
Yeah.
Or some mist.
Some mist around the edges.
Have more water fountains around here. Have more places to sit and wait for the bus. All over there, the bus stops all over there. That is shade. Look at that.
Yeah, but no more than they. I mean, I really don't know what could be done to improve them. You know, I don't know much about architecture, but yeah, as far as shade, I think they're okay. You know, I don't know that much about it.
The sun protection is fine. Of course, depending on the position of the sun, you can't stop some sunlight, but they're pretty much effective.
Most of the normal bus shelters, if they're not in the major part of the city, doesn't give any adequate protection because they're not thinking about which direction the sun comes from, or how it's actually how would you say, how it's actually positioned. It's too hot.
1 to 5, which one?
I'd say a 2.
2. All right. How about adequate protection from the sun in the winter time?
Well, in the wintertime, it's actually great because that weather in the wintertime is basically like Bay Area weather. You know, it's not humid, it's not really dry.
So sometimes it's nicer in the winter, right?
It's just right. But in all actuality, you have windstorms. A lot of people don't realize that. So that means it's not adequate protection at that particular time neither. And I'm worried about not so much as the young people as far as the older people here. Because see, Tucson is filled with an elderly population that comes here during the wintertime.
Yeah.
You know, and they're not giving that any real thought. And those are your major voters right there.
Oh yeah, I've totally been like gotten beaten down on by the sun, and I'll just stand and like behind a tree or something by the bus stop waiting. Hopefully the bus like won't miss me.
Have you ever actually missed a bus because of?
Multiple times. Multiple freaking times. I've been riding the bus for like 7 years, especially here in Tucson. Multiple times just because like I'm standing off to the side and the bus driver just happens to be driving a little bit too fast and doesn't notice that someone's waiting.
There's a road up on the west side of Tucson, and there's no shelter for them, nothing. You have to stand in the rocks, cars passing you by maybe a foot away, 110 degrees. We seen an old lady, and I felt so bad for her that she looked like she was not going to make it. So we asked her for a ride, but I guess they're scared of strangers. So we left her there, and we just prayed for her. We just, you know, it was a bad situation. And that's not the only time I've seen that. That's probably about 10 times I've seen that. And I suffered sometimes too, you know. So, yeah.
One thing I can see here in Tucson that you don't see in most other places, they give the desert landscape, they give their deco designs as far as the culture here.
Right.
So that's kind of good because you kind of understand where you're coming from and where you're actually at.
The buses, all the bus drivers are fine. The buses are fine. It's like I said, I haven't had any problem with any of them.
One thing I like, the new buses coming into town with the ACs. The ACs are working very good, and we're happy about that.
Like I wrote on my paper, on the thing, I said that one of the best things about sitting at the bus stop is if some random cute guy just happens to walk by and I get to see. But seriously,
so that's the best part, right?
Yeah, like that's really the highlight of me sitting at the bus stop.
Well, they're made of metal and they're made of steel, so you're automatically safe.
Yeah.
But in all actuality, you should have a call box. So per every telephone booth, you should have some type of call box.
I wonder if a lot of people get off here as opposed to get out.
Benches.
Benches?
Yeah, I might be a little biased because I just had back surgery. Yeah.
What I'd like to see is the city planner taking his time, since I know that he probably has a busy job anyway, getting young people out like yourself going around doing these surveys and correcting some of these problems.
Yeah.
Some of them are simple problems, and some of it's architecture.
Exactly.
Some of it's designing. Some of it's actually just location. See, you can have it at one corner, and you can actually take this bus stop and move it up to the next corner because there's shading from the buildings and everything. But if there's no buildings and nothing like that, there's no shading.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So some of it's real simple. But if you're not there and you're not out there to see it, you don't know what to do.
I put more bulletin boards up, make it look like a bus stop. Plenty of shade, maybe a water fountain next to it, some water so they can, so we won't die out there.
The basic maintenance on them, because in some areas you find that you have benches where they have stops. Okay, that's to keep the homeless out. But then at the same time, that takes away from more people being able to sit down.
Yeah, you could fit more people on the bench.
So it's like 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other. In one area is great because you don't have the homeless sitting on the benches or laying on the benches. But then in actuality, in certain areas, the homeless is not there, so this is not needed.
I think you should keep that.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times you can come up and you want to get a seat, and all the homeless people are sitting there, camping out. But usually the police run them away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Other than the transit centers, shelter, and a bench at all of them. But I know.
Okay.
That's it.
Make more of them. There's a lot of bus stops that don't have them.
Yeah.
So.
I absolutely hate about waiting at the bus stop is being attacked by ants and bugs because they don't want to change the trash cans. Being like, it's just nasty, it's hot, there's no protection from the sun sometimes, and if it's raining, like, it's just not enough. Oh, I know it'd be really expensive to put AC at the bus stop, but maybe like little misters or a cute guy with like drinks waiting or something. That'd be awesome.
Water fountain, maybe?
A water fountain would be awesome with actual good water with like that doesn't smell like piss. That'd be awesome. But honestly, one thing that really would help is just better sun protection, because that's like the main thing, or my main problem here in Tucson. It's just sun protection, weather protection.
It's a great idea to get youth and ideas into the project like that, because you are the future.
Right.
And it's going to be you guys sitting on those benches, because I'm just about over. I'm 53.
So you were the bus for a long time.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've only been here like 6 months, and I was quite surprised at the bus system itself. And Tucson's pretty much a quiet city, and I didn't think it was as big as it was.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that they had such an extensive bus system. So I take it. I have a car, but I take the bus.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting thing. So you have a car, but you'd rather take the bus just because you go around downtown a lot, or?
I'm all over. I'm self-employed.
All over. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, usually when I'm setting up a contract or something, I just take the bus because I'm always looking for new jobs. Okay. Yeah. And you kind of miss things when you're driving.
The bus stops, just hopefully they get improved. And bus drivers, no more strikes, or I will cry. Not cool.
It gets better for everybody.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thanks a lot, Raymond. Appreciate it, dude. That was really helpful. A lot. Anything else you'd like to say?
No. That's it, I guess.
All right. Thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Welcome. All right, you guys have a great day.
Perfect. You too, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Been awesome.
Sean.
Thanks a lot, Nancy.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
That won't be in the news.
No, it won't be on the news. Thanks a lot for your input, and I think that's about it. Appreciate it a lot, T.
Good job. Thank you.